everybody! On this occasion, we're gonna talk about abortion, but first, before we start, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Alejandrina Condori Bejarano, and I'm 16 years old. Now, let's start. What is the abortion? In a nutshell, abortion is the voluntary or involuntary termination of a pregnancy, practically when a woman wants to end her pregnancy. But behind this cold and short definition, there is much more to analyze. For example, why do mothers make this decision? Or what are the reasons? Or is the abortion dangerous to the mother? Abortion has always been a controversial topic and a source of debate between those who oppose its legalization and those who seek to decriminalize it in countries where the legal system opposes it. In this topic, we will talk about some points that abortion involves, and we will try to draw an adequate conclusion to the ideals of each person. Okay, the question in this point is abortion safe for the mother? In this point, we are gonna see three types of abortion: medical abortion or clinical abortion, abortion with pills, and spontaneous abortion. Let's start. Well guys, while I explain clinical abortion, you can watch this video. When we talk about safe abortion, we are referring to clinical abortion, which is a very safe, simple, and common procedure. It is very rare to have serious problems, but there are risks as with all medical procedures. Abortion is one of the safest medical procedures out there. The risks of abortions are similar to those of other gynecological procedures performed in doctors' offices daily. Like I said, it is rare for women to have serious complications after abortion, but we can mention a few. First, abortion doesn't work and the pregnancy isn't terminated. Remains of pregnancy tissue remains in your uterus. Having blood clots in the uterus, infections after the abortion, very heavy bleeding, and finally injuries to your cervix, uterus, or other organs. There is also another type of abortion, which is abortion with pills. It is less effective, but it works depending on the weeks of pregnancy that the woman has. The pills are given by a doctor or nurse who is an expert in abortion. Spontaneous abortion. There are many types of spontaneous abortion, but in this occasion, we're not gonna talk about them. This type of abortion is no longer as controversial as the previous ones because it is no longer decided by the mother. It simply occurs spontaneously. For or against abortion. Many people are in favor of abortion and many people against abortion. They each have their own arguments or ideas. We're gonna see 2 points. Points in favor of abortion and points against abortion. Points in favor of abortion. Point Number 1. One of the arguments that defend the practice of abortion is when it is stated that the woman has the absolute right to decide what to do with her body. Point number 2. Another argument that is widely used by those who are in favor of abortion, the last that the fecund embryo or in the fetus stage of pregnancy isn't yet a human being, but a group of cells. And therefore, when the woman decides to end to a pregnancy, she isn't killing a human being. Point number three. Some of the reasons are when a mother is too young and doesn't have the economic infrastructure or emotional support to be a mother, or another case in which the mother is the head of the family and no longer have sufficient resources to have another child. It may also be the case that the baby is the result of a violent relationship where the mother doesn't want the baby to grow up in that environment. All the above cases are valid, but they aren't for the law of many countries. Points against abortion. As much as there are arguments in favor of abortion, we can also mention arguments against abortion. The people who are in these sections, we can call them pro-life. Point number one. One of the most used arguments in this sector tells us that abortion is a crime since you are killing a defenseless being. Many agree that since the egg is fertilized, it is already a living being. The discussion about whether the fetus can be considered as a person has not reached the definitive conclusions causing debates among people. It is a topic that continues to occupy space within ethical and philosophical discussions. Point number two. We can also mention religion, which tell us that the Bible, the holy book of the Christian religion, recognizes that all lives are sacred and therefore considers that an abortion is the end of a life that is in progress. The Catholic Church is opposed to abortion in any circumstance, even though there is a diagnosis that indicates that there is a malformation in the fetus or that the mother is in danger of health. Although currently many religions, women, defend the legalization of abortion, health reasons, and women's rights. Okay, guys, taking into account the previous opinions from each person's perspective, I can come to form my own opinion on this topic. In a safe way, I can say in favor of abortion because when a woman or when a couple isn't ready to have a child, they're not ready. Period. There is no going back whether due to financial insufficiency or other reasons. I wouldn't like a child grow up with parents without sufficient maturity or with parents who had it out of obligation or social pressures. In many cases, having this type of parents can cause problems for an infant. Many people who are against the legalizations of abortion, their argument is that they take charge, that they be responsible for their actions. Okay, it's fine, that's fine. But the parents must take responsibility. But what about the child? A child needs to be born into a functional family. After all the talk, we have a conclusion. Each person can have their arguments and perspective about abortion, and each of them has their reasons for agreeing or disagreeing, and we just have to accept it. Although many times the arguments they launch are not coherent and cause a lot of controversy among people, generating debate and even fights. We can't come to the conclusion that abortion is an act of murder of a good act, but one thing we are sure of is that women are free to do what they want with their bodies, be it for health or any other reason. Well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you later. Bye.